Hello. Information and analytical service is in touch system.GURU.Markets. We start with summary information about the company. A little further, we will consider each indicator in more detail. If necessary, you can pause it. We suggest looking at each indicator of the organization under study in more detail. We will analyze the current performance of the corporation NextDecade Corporation, ticker NEXT. Reviewed using information as of March 20th, 2025. By classification GURU.Markets company NextDecade belongs to the subcategory Oil and Gas. 132 organizations take part in the analysis, which is very representative. Find the order table at the end of this video. The result for the company is as follows, -9 out of 10 points. The average score for the subcategory is 2.3 points. If you look broadly, within the entire US stock market in aggregate. Note that the average result for the market as a whole is 1.9 points. Against the company's score of -9 points NextDecade Corporation. Comparing the dynamics of the company's share price NextDecade and subcategory shares. We see that over the last 12 months stocks NextDecade Corporation showed dynamics of 67.4%. Against price changes in the 3.3% subcategory. This does not clearly indicate anything, but we must take note of this fact. Market capitalization of the company NextDecade is $2.36 billion. And the capitalization of the subcategory is $2,619 billion. NextDecade Corporation accounts for a share of 0.09%. It is one of the very small companies in the subcategory. The company's balance sheet capitalization is $0.36 billion. With a balance sheet capitalization of the subcategory of $1,607 billion. NextDecade Corporation constitutes a share of 0.022%. Comparing the occupied shares of the exchange and book value, we see the following. Occupied share NextDecade in the subcategory when assessing market capitalization is 0.09%. The book value is 0.022%, which is 76% less than the share of market capitalization. Assessment of the company's share of market and balance sheet capitalization of the subcategory, bad, -1 point. The debts of the organization under study amount to $3.884 billion. Financial liabilities to book value amount to 1,078.9% of capital. Result on the level of the company's debt obligations, very bad, -2 points. The balance of the company's stock market value to its profit is 0. With an average in the subcategory of 14.6, which is much worse than the average in the subcategory. Assessment of the company's market price to its profit in comparison with companies in the subcategory, very bad, -2 points. Profit for the last 12 months was -$62 million. Forward earnings for the next 12 months are unknown. This is bad for the company. Assessment of projected future profit indicators in comparison with companies in the subcategory. Bad, -1 point. The balance of company value to revenue corresponds to 0. Average for subcategory 1, which is worse than in the subcategory. Assessment of the company's stock market value to its revenue in comparison with the indicators of companies in the subcategory, bad, -1 point. Revenue for the last 12 months was $0 million. Forecasted revenue for the coming 12 months is unknown. This is very bad for the company's prospects. An assessment of the estimated future sales volumes in comparison with the indicators in the subcategory. Bad, -1 point. The sales margin is 0%, with an average in the subcategory of 6.9%. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 6.9%. Marginality assessment in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Tolerable, 0 points. The company's share in terms of the number of employees in the subcategory is 0.029%, which is 210% less than the share of market capitalization. And this shows the discrepancy between the company's current exchange price next decade, probably towards revaluation. The amount of capital per company employee is equal to $9,967,000, whereas for the subcategory $3,234,000. The difference between the subcategory average and the organization's indicators is 208.2%. Estimation of the amount of market capital per employee in comparison with the indicators of subcategory companies. Tolerable, 0 points. The profit per individual employee of the company is -$260,300. Average for the subcategory, $221,100. And the difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 18%. Estimated profit per individual employee compared to subcategory performance. Tolerable, -0.5 points. The sales volume for each employee of the company is $0,000. By subcategory, $3,183,000. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 100%. Estimation of sales per individual company employee in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Tolerable, -0.5 points. Shares short corresponded to 6.1%, with an average for the subcategory of 2.3%. This is an assessment of the risk of a short squeeze. Technical indicator RSI 14 shows a level of 65% for the company NextDecade Corporation, whereas in the subcategory the RSI level, 14, is 63%. Potentially, shares of the subcategory are valued approximately the same as shares NextDecade Corporation. The actual price of the company's shares is approximately $9.06. The consensus price target for the company's shares is approximately $12.49. The dynamics of the current price and consensus forecast is approximately 38%. Let's look at the order table. It is available. The link is in the pinned comment. The order table contains all decisions previously made this season by the information and reference system GURU.Markets. Access to the order table is absolutely free. Link in the pinned comment. Based on the analysis of the company NextDecade Corporation. Share valuation information system GURU.Markets, the following decision is made. Open a trade for a fall at a price of $9.07. The deal was opened due to the fact that the company has a rather low rating. The company's assessment was carried out based on the assessment method, the Akeem's index. Take profit is set at 7.47. Stop loss is set at 10.67. In case the order is not closed by take profit or stop loss. In this case, the order is fixed independently at the end of the trading session on April 19, 2025, or on the last working day before the specified date. Ticker, REI, will become the main buy order. The video on the main deal has already been published on this channel. When closing one of the orders, basic or balancing, The second order is fixed at the actual price. Thank you all for watching this video and for using the information and reference system GURU.Markets. You are all the coolest audience on the planet.